Welcome to This Explainer. Today, I'm going to be your moderator for a truly surreal, mind-bending philosophical dialogue. We're going to dive into the testimonies of 5 otherworldly entities to uncover some intensely dark truths about consciousness, reality, and honestly, the human condition itself. Think of this as an Infernal Symposium, broadcasting directly from a threshold between worlds, where our speakers are ready to debate and completely dismantle everything we thought we knew about our own minds.
To kick things off, I want you to consider this deeply eerie question. What if hell isn't a physical place with fire and brimstone, but a catastrophic failure of your very own biology and cognition? It perfectly frames the terrifying yet endlessly fascinating revelations we're about to explore together. As we listen to these entities hash it out, you might just start to realize that the absolute most dangerous place in the universe is tucked right between your ears.
So, let's meet our 5 unique symposium speakers. Each one brings a chilling, highly specific perspective on reality to our debate. We've got a human wizard wrestling with reality manipulation, an alien creature that literally feeds on thought, an alien soldier trapped in a mirrored war, a ninja orchestrating unseen destruction, and finally, a hornet monster offering a seriously stinging critique of human society. Let's hear what they have to say.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Illusions of Reality and Perception.
Our first speaker, the human wizard, opens the dialogue by lamenting how they ended up in this infernal threshold after a storied, nearly flawless career. Addressing the panel, the wizard admits to flying a bit too close to the sun. You see, they cast a greedy, all-encompassing spell to forcefully merge the mind with the physical world. The goal? To make it so the physical world wasn't just a symbol of the psyche, but the absolute entirety of it. They wanted a world where you didn't just feel things internally, but actually manifested them into physical existence. Now, to really grasp the wizard's ambition, we gotta understand the concept of qualia. Qualia refers to our individual instances of subjective, conscious experience. Think about the specific redness of a rose, or the sharp, distinct feeling of pain. The wizard specifically wanted to manifest qualia, making our inner, subjective feelings a tangible reality rather than just an internal perception. They were basically chasing the ultimate virtual reality, brought to life.
But here's where the tragic irony of our symposium really kicks in. The wizard's utopian dream is immediately countered by the living nightmare of our next speaker, the alien soldier. While the wizard desperately wanted a utopia of manifested thought, the soldier steps in to share how they actually lived through a manifested psyche, and spoiler alert, it turned out to be absolute torture. The alien soldier recounts being dispatched to the eerie plains of a great war, fully expecting to fight terrifying faceless demons, but because the soldier's species entirely lacked the sense of sight, they didn't realize until it was way too late that the entire battlefield was just a realm of mirrors. When they fired their weapons, their own projectiles just reflected right back at them. Hell wasn't filled with monsters at all. It was a mirrored dystopia exploiting their lack of sight. It proves that their suffering was entirely a cognitive error, self-inflicted damage resulting from their own biological limitations and unquestioned assumptions. Moving right along, we arrive at Section 2, Feasting on the Conscious Mind.
Things take a darker turn, as both our third speaker, the alien creature, and our fourth, the ninja, join the debate. If the soldiers showed us how our minds trick us, these two entities show us exactly who is waiting to take advantage of those tricks. And they don't attack when we're highly alert and thriving. No, they exploit this specific timeline of degenerating consciousness. They wait for those vulnerable moments when our minds slip, like when we fall into a monotonous rut in our daily lives, when we're asleep, or when our consciousness ebbs into degenerated states like comas. They are opportunistic predators of the mind.
The alien creature speaks up next, and it openly admits to literally feasting on our memories during these weak points. To this entity, the existential fabric of our universe is basically just an all-you-can-eat buffet. It doesn't even matter if a memory is profoundly positive or intensely traumatic. Even the random, mundane, blank slate moments from decades ago are a resource to be devoured, simply because any neuron firing in the brain provides them with power.
Chiming in right behind the creature is the ninja, who nods along and breaks down this terrifying 3-step procedure. The ninja functions in the shadows, whispering lies and seeping under the floorboards of our consciousness. But notice step 2 there, timing is absolutely crucial. The ninja emphasizes that they have to strike early to bind and constrain the mind, because if they wait too long, our minds might actually organize and defend themselves.
Their entire goal, step 3, is annihilating our futures to guarantee an eternal state of hopelessness.
What's truly staggering about the ninja's confession is the complete and utter lack of empathy. They destroy futures, simply because they can, coldly asking, who cares? They even admit their operation is organizationally brainless. They don't need some master logic. Instead, they just capitalize on raw, dumb luck, biological infections, or the pre-existing sociological infernos we've already trapped ourselves in. They literally just give the wheel of our own self-destruction a tiny little push.
That brings us to Section 3, Determinism and the Selfish Hive.
Enter our final speaker, the Hornet Monster. This entity enters the dialogue by zooming way out from the individual to contrast its own chaotic freedom with our human limitations. The Hornet boasts about harnessing the pure chaos of existence, flying in all directions wherever fate happens to lead. In stark contrast, it views humanity as barely one-dimensional, glued to the land by gravity and suffocated by biological determinism. The Hornet argues that our minds don't just lie to us. Rather, we are hopelessly trapped by the inherent chains of our biology and a massive, massive amount of cognitive dissonance. Scoffing at our societal pride, the Hornet then completely dismantles the idea of human eusociality, our ability to form complex cooperative societies. It argues we aren't a true superorganism or a unified hive mind at all. We're really just a biological group with slightly more cooperative individuals than outright psychopaths or parasites. It actually questions whether our entire concept of societal cooperation is just a weak coping mechanism we use to hide our own underlying psychopathy.
And this brutally honest quote right here? This is the Hornet's ultimate mic drop. It views human society as an infernal realm, governed by cold, utilitarian math. Who cares if a few are broken, as long as the vast majority survive? To the Hornet, our sprawling civilizations and grand societal structures are just an artifice. They're termite cathedrals. It's nothing but a numbers game, masquerading as inherent morality. Let's synthesize all of this in Section 4, the architecture of personal hell. As we piece together what these 5 wildly different voices are warning us about regarding our reality, a really chilling common thread emerges. The wizard's hubris, the soldier's blindness, the creature's hunger, the ninja's sabotage, and the Hornet's critique, they all point to one crucial fact. Every single speaker in this symposium reveals that our suffering isn't handed down by external, pitchfork-wielding demons. No, it's engineered entirely from within. It's built by our own cognitive dissonance, our biological chains, our unnoticed vulnerabilities, and our artificial societal structures. The threshold of hell is quite literally just the boundary of our own misperceptions.
So I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on long after this explainer is over. If your personal hell is constructed entirely from your own cognitive errors, your blind spots, and your very own memories, how on earth do you escape a prison where you are both the inmate and the architect? Thank you so much for joining me for this symposium. Keep questioning your reality, and I'll see you in the next explainer.